What is up, YouTube? I know it has been a while, but here we are back finally with some Rebel 1100 2021 updates. I'm thinking you guys can probably guess what this might be. This is the Vance Hines slip-on exhaust for the 2021 Rebel 1100. I made this deal with Vance Hines about over 3 months ago. No fault of theirs. This exhaust has been hard to get, even just to purchase it. So just a big shout out for Vance Hines for following through and getting me set up with this. I've been a long time loyal customer, especially on my Harleys, and just for them to do this for us and provide this for me with the only thing is I have to do is just do a review, so it's full and unbiased. And looking on YouTube, I don't see much video for this, if any, really. So I'm just really excited to get it. Been hard to just sit here and not even want to, open the box, but I did definitely want to do an unboxing video. And you can see that this is 2021 Honda Rebel 1100 exhaust, upsweep, for closed course competition use only. That's fine because, we only drive on our test track in Mexico, so should be fine. And let's get this thing out of the box. I've had it since yesterday and just been dying to get it out of the box, but I wanted to wait till I was ready to make this video. So let's do an unboxing here. I always hate opening these things up, but I'm thinking, this is the staple end, so let's tear into it. Hey, of course it's not going to open like that, but here we go. All right. Vance Hines, I've gotten a lot of stuff from them over the years. They usually do a fine job of packaging it, so let's take a look and see here what we have. Now I'm guessing, I can see, this to be expected. It's not that big of a deal. I'll touch it up a bit, but, right out of the box, you can see there's a little bit of scuff to it. You can see where this is probably the hole in the box during shipping. What you gonna do? I'm a pretty chill guy. I don't freak out about stuff like this. I just realize in the real world, this kind of stuff happens. I'll get a black Sharpie, touch it up, and make it look good. So, not a big deal. Well, actually, not a Sharpie. I'll probably just paint that, but that's okay. Extra bubble wrap. Let's see if there's anything else in the box, any instruction sheet or anything like that. There is. And at least I could see that the canister end was packaged really well on the other side. So let's take a peek at what they got here in the instructions. We've got the main can, we've got the heat shield there. Looks like we should have a couple clamps, grommets, nut and bolt, full instructions. Tells you every tool that you're going to need to put this on. If anyone is worried about, I know this is not the hardest thing in the world, but I know some people still struggle with having the confidence to do things yourself. There's no reason why anyone, and I mean anyone, can't do this yourself. The tools are simple. 12 millimeter combo wrench, a couple Allen wrenches in metric, 4 and 6 millimeters, and a 12 and a 10 millimeter socket, and a 3/8" ratchet drive. So again, looks like pretty simple installation. I'll do an install video, of course. That's coming next. But right now let's just take a peek. Let's open up the hardware. This will have the heat shield. I do want to be a little bit careful. Those heat shields can sometimes be a little thin and bendy. We don't want to bend anything. So let's pop this sucker out. One of these days I'll get it out. Probably would have been good to get a utility knife or something along those lines. All right, so let's go back. Let's see what we got here. So we've got a good looking heat shield. finish is really nice on this. Sweet. Now let's go ahead and get this main can opened up here. This is what I really want to see, obviously. Packed well. Man, that coating looks good. That looks mean. Ooh, that baffle looks mean. I love it. Let me just get a little bit different angle on the camera here. Look right down the throat. Get right up in there. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty sweet looking on the bike. Vance Hines logo looks pretty great. Ceramic coating looks, wow, really well done. Again, I also have the Pro Pipe from my Harley, which second Vance Hines exhaust I had. I originally had the 2-in-2, but 2-in-1 exhaust make more power, so went down that route. But wow, what a cool looking exhaust, man. I cannot wait to get this on the bike, run it in a bit, and see how it sounds. Now, the hardware must still be hiding out somewhere in the box, so let me get that out of here. Yeah, they had this part right here stuck in there, you know, to cradle it, and I didn't see the hardware, but now I see it's actually in the bottom of the box, so I got worried there for a sec. Oops, be careful, thank God I didn't drop it on the exhaust. You get the real stuff here. I don't go back and edit too much, just so you can see how it goes in the real world. But yeah, got the zone replacement nut and bolt. All the hardware is there. But that is it. That is the new 2021 Vance Hines Rebel 1100 exhaust. I assume these Allens, like on the other exhaust they have, sometimes the baffles are replaceable. I don't know. If you really want to be obnoxiously loud and have your neighbors hate you, I'm sure that you could actually take the baffle out completely by removing these 3 Allens that go around it. I don't recommend that. I mean, it just gets ridiculous, and honestly, these engines, they're not really tuned to run that way. This is something that you can just bolt onto the bike. No tune required. Should be absolutely fine, but gonna drop a bunch of weight, and certainly it's gonna look a lot better. So stay tuned. All right. Well, what is up, YouTube? Today's the day that we are actually going to install the brand new Vance Hines upswept slip-on exhaust for the Rebel 1100 2021. Big shout out to Vance Hines for coming through on this. I know it's been brutal. The supply chain issues globally have just made this a pretty big nightmare overall. And they haven't, I mean, just even availability at retail has been tough. So to actually be able to spare one for me and for this project is really cool of them, and just really appreciate it after all that. But first things first, let's hear what this stock exhaust sounds like. You've all heard it, I'm sure, but just as a reminder, let's set this down here. Let's fire her up. Right there. I'm not trying to get it too hot, because I do have to take it all apart in a sec, but that's it. That's your stock sound. In a second I will lay out all the tools for you, and I'll just run through it step by step. As far as like ease of install, this should be about as easy as it gets. Nothing's really that hard here. Anyone should be able to do this install. So stay tuned, be back in a sec. All right, YouTube, we're back. Let's start with the instructions and gather all the tools. As you can see here, we need a 12mm combo wrench, check. We need a 4mm Allen wrench, and let me just check and make sure. This is a 4mm, so check. A 6mm Allen wrench, check with that. We need a 3/8" drive ratchet, and we need both 12mm as well as 10mm sockets. So do have all of our tools gathered up over there. First thing we're going to go ahead and do is remove this stock exhaust. It's only been a few minutes here, but I think it's cooled down enough, but I'll still throw on some mechanics gloves. These things are great to have. God, this thing is huge and ugly, and I will be glad when it is gone here. So normally I just wing this, but since we are having the instructions here, let's just go step by step. So stock exhaust removal, loosen the clamp at the front of the muffler, loosen the bolt that attaches the muffler. It does have a heat shield here, but I don't think we need to worry about removing it. We just need to start by removing these two 12mm bolts up here. So let's go ahead and grab the ratchet. It's 12mm. And I'm just gonna pop in here. You might have wanted to grab an extension, but don't really need it. Right, that is pretty dang easy. Again, wasn't torqued on like ridiculously tight or anything. It was actually fairly easy to come off. It says once you've done that, remove the bolt that attaches the muffler to the stock mounting bracket, as you can see here. Step 2. So that's up here. That should be as simple as, let's just get this up here so we can see it. You got, looks like a 12mm on the front, as well as back here. You can see that. So let's go ahead and get that removed. And really all I'm going to do here, make sure that's, oops, just a sec here. I grabbed an 11mm. That's awesome. Now I've got the proper 12mm. So 12mm there. Check. And we're going to go back to our socket wrench here. Just going to throw this back here to hold it, and we are going to remove it. A little tighter, but still not very overall tight. Couple good little taps, and that was out of there. Let's just go ahead and ratchet this all the way off. And it still doesn't want to come out by hand, but that's okay. That is out. And realistically, at this point, this should pretty much just pull off the bike. Might have to twist it to coax it a little bit. Could have grabbed a rubber mallet, that might have helped a little bit, but we're almost there. There we go, and that's off. So there it is. You know what? Just for giggles, let's fire it up. Alright, so as you can see, this is the little heat shield. This is the clamp. We want to completely undo the clamp. You do want to be careful here because you really don't want to scratch this up. So you want to go inside. You want to feed that through. Come around this way. Once we do have it installed here, you'll be able to easily get to that screw to tighten everything up. So we do want to put this on, albeit somewhat loose. And again, we want to be careful not to scratch stuff up, so let's move tools, nuts and bolts, etc. This stuff does scratch easy. This will be out of sight, so luckily we should be okay there, but you do want to be careful. Alright, for now I've got that lightly on there. Again, facing down. Should be able to get to that bolt, or at least loosen it up and turn it a bit if need be. When this is installed, we want to get that in there. That will go over the top, and ultimately that is going to crank down on everything. This will be moved up a bit. You want it pretty much down near the end, just so you can get a pretty good tightening over the spot that it needs to go. This should still be now. It does say 12 millimeter. This is absolutely not a 12 millimeter socket. Well, that's interesting, folks. Let's see what it is. $14, I'm guessing. And that's what it was. It's a 14 millimeter. So I'll put that earlier on when I'm describing the tools, that we are actually also going to need a 14 millimeter. I'll pop a little of this hardware on. Essentially what we got here, just so you can see the order this goes in. See the order right there. Got this little push through that pushes through the rubber grommet. That will be on the outside here. That is good. Then you've got the bracket mount. Will go right behind this. So this will actually go. Let's do this here. Go. And now we just got to get this slid on. This will rotate up into place. Okay. I have got it. That is pretty much on there. We're going to do some tightening in the lining first. We're going to push this into place. You might have to tweak it a little bit, but it'll go. Sitting a little high. That will just keep some tension. And then behind, we've just got this washer and back nut. So just got the washer and back nut all the way through the washer and the backing nut. Oops. Go. Now we're just going to get this a little bit tight. Not crazy tight yet. Be really careful with this. We don't want to scrape anything. All right. Looking good there. All right, now let's see back up underneath here. Do want to go ahead and get our clamp positioned right. So we do really want it right there on the edge. Don't really want it showing too much. So let's kind of tuck it up there. That is good. Remember, this is 14 mil. Set to tighten. Put this in place. And we're going to start to tighten this, folks. Want a little bit hanging off the edge there, which we got, and now we can tighten this thing down. All right, that is good and tight. Good old German torque spec there. We definitely want to come back and check that after a while, but for now, it is good and tight. The next thing we want to do is align this heat shield so you kind of see where this just will rotate a little bit up like that. It really gets everything tucked in, just clean, tight, good looking. Kind of got a notch cut out there. Looks good there. Not see any clamps, so that's good. And just like that, looks pretty good. And that is just a flathead. That is right up here. Let's just loosen it ever so slightly so we can rotate it a bit. There we go. But I just want to rotate this around to where it's a bit easier to get to. Again, making sure this is in a good spot. And now we're just going to tighten this. Everything's still looking good and clean here. Not too tight. These tend to slip. That's pretty good. That ain't going anywhere. Last thing we want to do, let's go ahead and finish tightening up here. Again, just want to get it decently tight. I want to do that right now. .12mm combo wrench and the 6mm Again, be careful. Once it snugs up, it gets snug pretty quick. That is nice and snug. And there it is, folks. That is installed. In reality, if I wasn't shooting a video, probably could have done that in like 15 minutes. Looks good. Heat shield looks good. Definitely looks better than the competitor brand that just has an ugly clamp there showing. I'm going to get some soapy water. You definitely always want to wipe these things down once you install them. Any oil fingerprints, especially through that first heat cycle, can have a detrimental effect. So I'm going to wipe it down real quick, and when I come back, we'll be starting this up. We have installed the upswept exhaust for the 2021 Honda Rebel 1100 from Vance Hines. Again, I can't thank Vance Hines enough for helping us out, for getting this done. Boy, does it look good. I am dying to hear it. So I cannot wait to fire this thing up. Probably get a little smoke at first. Let's take a look and see. Let's do it. Let's fire this thing up. That's what we all really want. I love it. Absolutely love it. Coming soon, we'll do some actual ride video next. Do some pulling by. Install video was, again, other than not listing the screwdriver you need for the hose clamp and the 14mm socket you will need for the actual clamp, the muffler clamp itself. Install was super straightforward, pretty dang easy. But that's a wrap, folks. Hope you enjoyed this. We'll get some, like I said, some actual riding videos posted soon within the next week. But thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.